Well, welcome everybody. This is Kentucky Ranger. Mom looks a little different. Anyhow, this is...
At least she's cool.
That's right. Mom is cool. This is...
My Snapchat filter.
That's her Snapchat filter. Her interview filter.
That's right.
Anyhow, this is Cherie, the one and only. Cherie.
So nice to be here.
And she's going to do an interview. We had a little get-together, and I figured, well, it's a good time to kind of get to know you just a little bit better. Let the YouTube get to know you a little bit better. Anyhow, right out of the gate, when and where was you born?
I was born in mid-Michigan in the early...
You're a baby.
Yeah, right about there.
Now, were you raised right in Michigan?
Yeah.
Did you move anywhere? Or?
No, I stayed pretty much in the same county.
Well,
traveled around only a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, within the States mostly. Canada, because Michigan's real close to Canada.
Right.
Yeah, pretty close to home.
So would you like to go on vacation up in Canada?
Yeah, senior trips, you know, girls trips, whatever.
Where would you go up in Canada?
Well, I've been into Niagara and Windsor. Not too far up into Canada. Not far enough. I'd like to go back for sure.
Windsor's pretty cool town.
Yeah.
I don't know all the local stuff you can do there. Now, Niagara's cool.
Yeah.
Go to the falls and the welcome center they have there. It's really cool.
Yeah. We took a road trip up there and had a really good time. Just a couple friends and I. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in middle Michigan?
You know, it was good.
Yeah.
When we first moved to where we grew up, I was just not born yet, and we lived on a dirt road. And since that time, I mean, my dad still lives in the same house my mom has passed on, but
cool.
since that time, the road was, became a paved road and then a 4-lane road, and now it's, like a 4-lane road with a
highway,
with a
divided highway,
with a turn lane, and yeah. So they lost some property as they bought property to build the road wider and whatever. But yeah.
So he still lives in the same house you were born and raised in?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So what was it like growing up, like going to school and stuff? Do you have a lot of friends?
Oh yeah. I went to the local school for like preschool and kindergarten and first grade, and then our church opened a private school. And so, in fact, just this last weekend, they had a reunion that I missed because I'm on my road trip. But I was the last of the first class. So, in second grade, I was in the first class that was ever a part of that school. And I was the last one to graduate. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you started it and ended it.
That's right. Well, no, I didn't really end it, but...
Well, that's cool. Yeah. So you graduated from the church
private school.
Private school.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
My parents really sacrificed to send all 3 of us there. My brothers and I. I have 2 older brothers, so yeah, very blessed to have had such a good education.
Yeah, they sent us to a private school for a while, but it was so expensive.
Yeah.
And well, that's good. They did that.
Yeah.
Have you or a family member ever served in the military?
Yeah, my brother was in the military for a short while until he had to be discharged for health concerns, reasons, whatever. So, but that wasn't really serving. So he tried.
How long was he in?
Not very long.
Not very long.
No, that's the closest we got.
Hey, well, he tried.
My ex-husband, I don't think that counts.
Nah, we can talk about him.
Nah.
Yeah. So, growing up, do you have any favorite memories of gadgets and toys that you might have played with?
Man, probably. I mean, it wasn't really a technological toy box back when I was a kid, but I do remember when, as I was older, when Atari came out and that sort of thing. Yeah. We weren't privileged because we went to a private school, so life was simple back then. Yeah. We had good education. That's about it. I don't remember any gadgets per se.
What did you do to entertain yourself?
We played outside a lot.
Yeah.
Climbed trees, rode bikes. All the outdoorsy type things.
So were you like a tomboy or?
You know,
Man.
yes and no.
Yes and no.
Like, I was a girl tomboy. Like, my mom made sure that I was always, girly, but yet, but yet, I mean, I think there was a good balance in my childhood.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, especially with 2 older brothers. But
I'd say
she instilled some girly, ness or whatever. Yeah, I think it was pretty balanced. I mean, I climbed trees and everything, so.
Did you ever do the Evel Knievel stuff on your bike, or?
Oh, we thought it was a couple of ramps, once in a while. But as the baby, I wasn't allowed to do as many things as the boys were allowed to do. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. We read a lot of books, too, in our downtime. So.
Hey, that's cool. I'm a bookworm.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up, you said you went to a religious private school, so was religion a big part of your growing up, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't call myself religious. God's the center of my life. I wouldn't say that we're religious.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was a Christian home.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you still go to church on a regular basis?
Yeah. God's still the center of my life, for sure.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Is it just a non-denominational kind of church?
Apostolic Pentecostal.
I'm sorry?
Apostolic Pentecostal, actually.
Apostolic.
Yeah.
I know Pentecostal. I'm not sure what's the apostolic part?
The apostolic, the apostles' doctrine from the Bible.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah.
Let's see, cars. What did you learn to drive a car? What kind of cars do you remember?
Well, growing up, I mean, we had, it was, 5 of us in our family.
Right.
So
you shared the car? Or?
Well, as a child, we had a really cool station wagon.
Right.
And then, for a while, I remember our car was broke down, and somebody let us drive, like somebody at my dad's work let us drive some old vintage white, I don't know if it was a Cadillac, my dad would know, I can't remember. It was so cool. And the interior was white leather and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we drove it at least for maybe, I don't know, it seemed like a month, but it might have been only a couple of weeks. And while our car was getting fixed, that was super cool. And then from there we had I think we got a Pacer.
Pacer, yeah.
All 5 of us in the Pacer.
Oh,
it was
Lord.
like driving around in a UFO.
Driving around the fishbowl.
Yep. And then we had a Honda, which was even smaller.
Yeah.
And at one point we had 13 people in that car.
In a Honda?
Yeah, some of my cousins and my aunts and uncles had come up from down south, and we were all at my aunt's house, and they wanted to spend the night with us, so we all left my aunt's house all piled up with bags, with pillows and sleeping bags and everything in the Honda. I mean, this was before seatbelts were required.
Right, yeah.
We were all stacked on top of each other, just shoved into the back seat. And
good Lord.
Yep, that was good times. And
so what car did you learn to drive in?
Oh, man, I don't remember what we had when I learned to drive. I think it was a Ford Escort wagon, if I'm not mistaken.
Escort, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what year it was?
Just, it would have been... You want me to tell my age? You're
No,
really
just
pushing
the car.
age
No,
thing.
just the car.
The car itself, I don't remember what year the car was. It would have been a used car for sure. But yeah, I learned to drive probably mostly with my dad.
Yeah.
Like on the way to church or whatever. My mom was less patient.
Well.
My dad was very patient. And then after I got married and we had, my husband was not with me, and I needed to drive what we had a stick shift at the time.
Yeah.
And so I told my dad I needed to learn how to drive the stick shift since he's not around. So my dad taught me how to drive the stick shift too. So
what was the learning curve on that?
I was good.
Was you good?
Yeah. I just needed to ask him, why am I pushing this pedal now? Like, what is going on in the engine?
Once you get the
and he was very patient to describe why I had to do the things that I had to do, and it just made sense to me. So I learned fairly quickly.
Do you have any favorite cars? Or?
Oh, man, I love cars.
Yeah.
Oh, so many favorites. I mean, I wouldn't say any specific. I wouldn't.
All car. I mean, favorite, like the ones that you have owned over the
That
years.
I've owned?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely my most recent Ford Focus. Man,
Ford Focus.
I went from,
They're
my
good
son
car.
has it now, but it's so small and it's able to buzz in and out of traffic so easily. And it's been good in the snow. My son has it now, but I went from that to an Impala, an 05 Impala, and it was huge. And I drove slower, and I was kind of like,
down in the seat,
I hated it. I got a really good deal on it. I was very thankful.
Like a bus driver.
It was horrible. So now I'm back in a newer Ford Focus, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going really good.
Well, that's cool.
Back to buzzing around town again. Pull into any parking spot I want instead of finding the big ones.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of like your work career, what was your very first job you ever had?
Right out of high school, I worked at a fabric store.
Cool.
And within a few months, I was made assistant manager, and I stayed there for a while. And before I went into retail shoe business, and I was assistant management there for quite a while. And then I did some like school monitor, teacher's aide type work.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
And kept kids in my home after I was married.
Well, like fostering or.
No, like babysitting.
Oh, just stay home. Okay.
Yeah, like just so I could stay at home with my own son.
Oh, cool.
While he was young.
Kind of like a daycare.
Kind of like that. Unofficially official.
Yeah, unofficially.
Yeah.
Took care of friends and families, kids.
Yeah, it was actually a really good gig. So I mean, so I could be a stay-at-home mom and still pull in some income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, until life got turned upside down, and then I was a cashier at Meijer, and you know, since then I've done better and better and better. So.
Yeah, it happened to me.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, it's all
one
good.
of them things you go through. It's life's little speed bumps.
Yeah.
But it's
good.
cool that you're doing this and you're traveling around.
Yeah.
Doing your YouTube thing. What got you interested? I know the Snapchat. Your story was you did Snapchat and then you decided to put a couple on YouTube.
Originally, I often say I didn't mean to start YouTube.
Right, you just sort of accidentally
watched YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, and then as I participated in live streams, people would subscribe to me, even though I had no videos, and I would tell them, don't subscribe to me, I don't have videos.
But see, nice people like you, even though you don't have any content, because there's a lot of people that I subscribe to, they have absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It's just their name.
Yeah.
But they're nice when they, like say, the live streams, they come on and they're nice. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh yeah, I want to keep up. That way, at least get the notification if they ever decide to make a video.
Well, I did.
The little icon will come up. Bing.
Yeah.
Oh, look, they're doing a video. Cool.
Right. Yeah. So I, for the longest, people were telling me I needed to upload videos, and I had absolutely no intention of doing so. And then I was off, I don't remember if it was Thanksgiving break or Christmas break, and just, you know, putzing around the house doing Snapchat like I always do with my friends. And I got the brilliant idea that I could do a Oh My Gosh intro for his Oh My Gosh channel. So I did that, and then he said in a live stream, I told him, like, hey, did you get it or whatever, and he said, well, it'll be a while before I use it, because I usually try to use them in order, so, you know, it could be, there's probably 500 people ahead of you, so I did the math, and I'm like, that's going to be a couple of years before it goes on his channel. So I said, you know, I could upload that on my channel, which was not a channel at all, and I got really good feedback on that, so people said it was funny, and it really wasn't. To me, it's not that funny, but they enjoyed it. So from there, I'm like, that's easy.
I'll tell you one thing you do, I could never do. I don't have the patience, because your videos are like 5 or 6 minutes long. Those are 1 minute clips that you sew together to make an entire video.
And sometimes it's 30 clips that I cut down to 5 minutes.
Right, and I remember the first one, you were like, I don't know about doing it, and I kept saying, come on, was the
Bean Boozled
Bean
challenge?
Boozled, yeah.
You even offered to help me, and that really spurned me.
Well, send me the clips, and I'll do it for you. No, I'll do it. So you finally did, and it's hilarious.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. It would have been annoying for you to do it. And I just didn't want to put you through that. But thank you again.
But now you're doing that all on your phone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How do y'all do that? Like you and Rob, and there's so many that.
Oh, you mean editing on my phone?
Yeah.
No, I don't do editing on my phone. I only edit on my computer.
Oh, so you have like
my
a
desktop.
laptop? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. At the
Oh,
office.
that's good because it's like.
No, I can't.
Rob, there's a lot of people that shoot and edit everything on their phone.
They do. Even some of the bigger YouTubers that have a lot of content.
It's like, how do you do that?
I don't think I could either.
Yeah, I mean, I understand they do like little jump cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, stitching them together, it's not really that big a deal. When you start with the transitions and the titles and you start doing all this, it's like, and you're doing all this on your phone?
Right.
Lord, I'm doing it, like you said, I'm doing it on a big desktop at home. I'm not doing it on my phone because I don't know if I can do that. At first,
I would upload directly from my phone, and then once I had multiple clips to weave together, I dumped it all on the desktop, and now I use that primarily. I barely ever upload from my phone because it's not as I don't have all the tags and all the stuff in Creator Studio to do that. So
that's the unique thing about your channel. That's one thing you got to keep doing because we all love it. We love the Snapchat filters.
It's really fun.
Let's see. It's Carla in the background. Lord have mercy.
She wants in on the action.
Yeah, I think she does. Bucket list. Let's talk about bucket list. Do you have any bucket list things you've done or you want to do?
I'm not really a bucket list person. Like, specific, write it down, gotta do it.
Got it, yeah.
There's things I'd like to do. I'll tell you, I'll confess.
Okay.
Back when I had the first Ford Focus that my son owns now, I was vacuuming out the trunk one day, and I realized how flat the back went down, like all the way, almost completely flat. Mm-hmm. The seats, so the trunk and the seats were flat.
All flat, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I could sleep back there.
Oh,
it's like a nice big area. I could just get a blanket and
go camping.
So I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So then I never did in that car. But it was just kind of like one of those things like, I need to do that. I want to do that.
Like just go camping, or you mean like?
Well, just take a road trip. Sleep in the back of the car. Just for the adventure of it. It sounds really dumb, right?
No.
Well, yeah, it does. You can be on.
No, really, it's actually cool.
So I never did.
Yeah.
But then I got this Ford Focus, and.
Do the seats fold back?
Not quite. No, not. I mean, it'd be like just kind of barely. But because I've always wanted to do it, on this trip I have.
Oh, have you?
But not in the trunk.
Has it worked out pretty good? I mean,
excellent.
Yeah.
It's been so it's the dumbest thing, but it made me really happy to be able to do that.
Well, now have you followed? My brain just went blank. Candid Candy. Do you know her channel?
I've heard of her.
Yeah,
I don't think
she lives in her car and she
really?
travels around and does stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not homeless. I'm just traveling around the car.
Right. I think I could do that.
Hey,
so
why not?
on this trip, every other day or so, I'm with people. So it's not that I've, been completely without shelter.
Right.
But it's kind of just one of those things where not only is it inexpensive, but it's it's more adventuresome. And one of my friends knows that I've done that, and she's pretty supportive. She knows I'm really safe and everything. But if my family knew, they would probably yell at me. You can't be doing that. It's not safe. But I've only been very safe.
Yeah, as long as you're in secure places and you've got stuff to keep you safe.
Yep. And I created a makeshift curtain thing around the car so nobody can tell who's in it.
Right.
And it kind of blends in with the car and whatever. So
it's 20 years I drove a truck, so I lived in my truck.
Right.
And the only difference is I have a bed back, I've got a sleeper.
Right. And I told you I always kind of had this inkling that I could really rough it on the road as a trucker. So, and I even thought about that the other day. I'm like, see, I told Ranger I could do this.
There you go. Well,
not in a big old truck, but So,
I'll tell you what, I've seen female truck drivers, little short, short, tall, big, small.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's not who you are, it's the skill you have. You
Sure.
know? And once you get used to the size of a truck,
Yeah.
it's really not that bad.
Yeah, I'm sure I could do it. I don't have that same desire like I did, a long time ago, but I know that I can do it. That's for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of people, what happens with the trucking thing is when you get out on the road, it's being on the road.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
Weeks and weeks of not being home.
Right.
Now, when I started driving the truck, I was just me. I was single. It was like a permanent vacation to me.
Right.
But I still like to get home like every couple of months.
Yeah.
But when you get older, you get married, you have families.
Right.
It's like I don't want to be stuck out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, even with me being single, it kind of got old after a while. It's like,
road weary.
After about 2 years, I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I went to regional driving where I was home every other night.
Oh, that's not bad.
So, there's all kinds of things you can do in the trucking thing.
Yeah.
But it's just that being out on the road all the time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even on this road trip, I've been out now about a week and a half, give or take,
Right.
and I'm starting to feel.
Yeah, it's like, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still having fun.
Oh, yeah.
But I love being home, and
Right.
I miss the routine of home, and I'm still having fun, but it's going to feel really good to get home, and I'm really glad that I've timed it, like 2 weeks so that I kind of have that inkling to go home and it's not ending too soon or
it's just the right
extending
amount of
it
time.
too long. So.
2 weeks is about pretty much everybody, I think. It's like, okay, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
1 week, you're still kind of like, I wish I still.
Right.
But 2 weeks, that's pretty solid, and it's, okay, I've done it, I've had fun, now it's time to go home.
Yeah, so I'll be home in a couple of days, and that's going to feel really good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
So anyhow, we're going to wrap this up with, do you have any advice for younger people that are on social media? And
just be yourself.
be yourself. Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of who you are.
Right.
Speak your mind with love.
Yeah, with love. Yeah, don't be mean.
Be caring of people. Be genuine. I think it's just really important to be genuine.
It really is. Well, this has really been awesome. I appreciate you taking the time out to do this.
For sure.
And it's so cool to meet you guys. And the Goobers, they're over here in the back. I just got done interviewing Stephen. So this is all just so awesome. We're getting ready to hang out a little bit more.
Yes.
See what we can do.
It's been a pleasure, really. Thank you.
Oh, this has really been awesome. Anyhow, God bless everybody. And tune in next Monday. And like I say, this has been Mondays with Mom, even though Mom, I've interviewed her to death, so I don't know how many more things I could ask her.
I sure would like to meet her, but hello, Mom.
Yeah,
and Cherie.
Yeah.
And Samantha. And the doggies.
And the doggies. Anyhow, God bless everybody. Appreciate this, and we'll see y'all next Monday. Y'all take care. Bye. Okay, this has been cool.